The alarm rang at 4:45 a.m. Outside, the world was still asleep, but inside a small apartment, one young man lay awake, staring at the ceiling, lost in thought. His name was Ryan Carter, 23 years old. And though the world saw him as just another college dropout working at a cafe, inside him burned a quiet storm, a hunger to do something more with his life. Pause, music fades into deep ambient tones. For months, Ryan had been telling himself, "Tomorrow I'll start. Tomorrow I'll change." But every morning came and went, stolen by his own excuses. He blamed his job, his past, his bad luck. But deep down he knew the truth. He was losing his mornings, and with them his dreams. Scene 1, the breaking point, low ambient rumble. City sounds slowly rise. It was a Monday morning. Ryan was late again. His manager glared as he rushed into the cafe, hair messy, shirt untucked, eyes half awake. Manager: "Ryan, this is the third time this week. You want this job or not?" Ryan just nodded quietly. He didn't want the job. He wanted a life. But wanting and doing were two very different things. That night after work he came home exhausted. He opened his laptop and saw an old video of his favorite athlete, talking about how success starts with discipline, especially in the morning. Ryan laughed bitterly. "Yeah, easy for you to say," he muttered. Then he saw one line on the screen, "Your morning decides your life." He stared at it for a long time. For some reason, it hit him harder than anything before. That night, for the first time, Ryan didn't just wish for change. He made a promise. He set his alarm for 5 a.m. and taped a note above his bed that said, "If you want to change your life, start with your morning." Scene 2. The first battle. Music softens, faint birds, early dawn sounds. The next morning the alarm screamed at 5 a.m. Ryan's eyes opened. His body begged him to stay in bed. But something inside whispered, "Get up." He sat on the edge of his bed, breathing hard. The world was dark, quiet, but still. He poured a cup of cold coffee and stared out the window. For the first time he saw the sunrise, not as a background to his life, but as a beginning. He put on his shoes and went outside. The air was cold, his breath visible. He started jogging, slow, clumsy steps at first. But every step felt like defiance. Against his laziness, against his old self. When he came home, sweaty and tired, something strange happened. He smiled. It wasn't pride. It was peace. Scene 3. The pattern background shifts. Steady beat. Hopeful music begins. Days turned into weeks. Ryan kept waking up early, sometimes at 5, sometimes at 4:30. He spent his mornings moving, reading, planning his day. He wrote in his journal, "What am I grateful for? What are my top 3 priorities? Who am I becoming?" Slowly his habits changed. He stopped scrolling through his phone first thing. He stopped chasing motivation. Instead, he built discipline. His co-workers noticed the difference. He was calmer, sharper, more confident. Even his manager said, "You seem different, kid." Ryan smiled. "I just started waking up earlier." They laughed, but they didn't understand. They didn't see what he felt. That silent power that grows when you own your mornings. Scene 4. The setback. Music dims, rain sound effects, slower pacing. But life never stays smooth. After 3 months of progress, Ryan's landlord raised his rent. He had to take extra shifts. The exhaustion came back. The 5 a.m. alarms became 7 a.m. snoozes again. He started missing his morning runs. He told himself it's just temporary. But soon, the old habits crept in. One morning, as he overslept again, he saw that same note on his wall. "If you want to change your life, start with your morning." He felt ashamed. He sat on the floor and whispered, "Why do I always fall back? Why can't I stay consistent?" And then he remembered something he once read. Discipline isn't about never falling. It's about getting up every time you do. So the next morning, he got up again, even though his eyes burned with fatigue, even though no one cared. He ran again. He wrote again. He started again. Scene 5. The turning point. Music builds slowly. Hopeful strings begin rising. One morning, while running, Ryan saw the sun breaking through thick clouds. The light touched his face, and in that moment he realized something profound. He wasn't fighting mornings. He was fighting himself. Every time he won that battle, he grew stronger, not outside, but inside. And that strength began to shape everything else. He started working on a side project, designing fitness plans for college students. Every morning before work, he spent 2 hours building it. It wasn't perfect, but it was his. His dream was finally alive, one early morning at a time. Scene 6. 6 months later, music rises, inspiring and bright. 6 months passed. Ryan's project started gaining attention online. Students loved his realistic routines and mental discipline lessons. One day, an investor emailed him after seeing his post. Within a few months, Ryan quit his cafe job and launched his own fitness brand. At the launch event, a reporter asked him, "Ryan, what's your secret? How did you turn your life around at 24? He smiled and said, "My mornings. I stopped sleeping on my dreams." Scene 7. The reflection. Soft music fades into deep, powerful orchestral build. Now, every morning when Ryan wakes up, he still sees that note on his wall. It's torn, faded, but alive. He never changed the words because they were true the first time. If you want to change your life, start with your morning. He learned that success doesn't begin with big plans. It begins with a decision to rise before the world, to listen to your thoughts, to face your fears, to do what others won't. Because the world rewards those who take charge of their mornings. While others are still dreaming, they are already creating. While others are scrolling, they are already growing. While others are waiting for the right time, they are making time. Final message. Narrator. Powerful, energetic tone. Epic music rises. Full energy, cinematic climax. Every morning is a new page, and what you write on it becomes your story. You can fill it with excuses or with effort. You can waste it in comfort or build it with courage. The choice is simple. You either rise with the sun or you let your dreams die before daylight. So tomorrow, when the alarm rings, don't hit snooze on your purpose. Get up, move, breathe, create. Because one day, you'll look back and realize it wasn't one big change that transformed your life. It was 1,000 small mornings where you refused to quit. Music hits final crescendo. Your morning decides your life. So rise and build your future before the world even wakes up.